Welcome back, developers. We've spent the last 6 videos mastering game architecture, GDScript and Vector Math. Today we officially move out of the theory phase and step into the shoes of a game designer. We're going to build our first fully playable 2D platformer entirely from scratch. We will set up our digital canvas, paint a beautiful world, configure complex physics, and program a responsive player character. Let's get started. Alright, first we're going to need a scene to represent the level of the game, but we need assets to put in that scene. So I went over to itch.io and this user Ansimus, I used his platformer assets in a previous project, and they'll just work a little bit easier than Kenny's. Kenny's will have to manually slice the sprites and do a bunch of math and determine all that, which in itself isn't bad and it'll work for you. And I believe in one of the earlier videos I actually kind of went through that process of slicing it appropriately for you guys. So if you want to do that and keep with the Kenny assets, you can. I'm gonna go ahead and download his free all-in-one asset pack. Of course, all you gotta do is press download now. If you want to support him, then go ahead, you can. I believe you get a few more things for just a low price of $5. Otherwise, you can just press no thanks, take me to the downloads, because the more their stuff gets downloaded, then the higher up, obviously, in their the itch.io algorithm, however that works with the game assets, will push them up farther. So we'll do that, and then I'll be right back with the video. I'm gonna unzip these, and then I'll show you how to put them into your scene. Alright, so now to just drag this in, all we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our resources folder and our Godot project is selected. Grab our Sunnyland files once they're extracted, just drag and drop them anywhere into this Godot window, and then, whoops, try this again. There we go. You'll see that they imported. There'll be like a little bar showing the progress. It doesn't take long because they're 2D files. And they'll pop up right there. There is a Mac option. We don't need that one, so unless you're on a Mac, I'm not, so I'm going to go ahead and press delete and remove that file. And then we have our characters, we have some environments, we have some miscellaneous sound effects and items, and then there was an extra music pack that I extracted separately and then put it into this file there. I'll include the link to a zipped file of these in the description if you want to use them, but I think that Asimov would appreciate you going to their page directly and downloading it, so I'm going to recommend you do that. But if you don't have an itch.io account and don't feel like creating one, then I'll have it in the Google Drive. Alright, let's get that level created. Let's click on 2D scene. We're going to rename that root node by pressing F2. We're going to change it to level 1. Press Ctrl A. We're going to make sure we add a texture rectangle. So type in texture in your search bar. It'll pop up here at the bottom, and you can just click on it, then press create. Now, we're going to need a background for it, which is why we added this texture rectangle. Inside of the Sunnyland files, in the background folder that's under the environments, there's this back.png. I'm just going to drag that over here. Now, I'm going to keep all the settings the same, but you can adjust them if it fits the needs of your game. For me, it doesn't, so I'm just going to now grab this bottom right corner and just drag it out to fit the length of our scene here. Now, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and just press Ctrl S so we can save our scenes. We're gonna save it in our scenes folder. We're gonna save it in our levels folder inside of there, and leave it named level 1. Now we need a ground to walk on. Building 2D levels with tile maps is an efficient and organized way to create game environments by reusing small pre-designed tiles. Let's go ahead and press Ctrl A, make sure that your level 1 is selected, and then search for a tile map. There's going to be two options, tile map is getting deprecated, so don't use that. Just use TileMapLayer and press create. And for right now, we're going to press F2 and we're going to name this ground. It's important to note that a TileMapLayer node uses a TileSet, which contains a list of tile maps that are used to create grid-based maps. In the inspector now, we're going to come over here to TileSet, choose empty, and click on New TileSet. Now you're going to see a new tab open up at the bottom of your screen called TileSet. We're going to drag our TileSet sprites right here. It's found in the main environments folder of the Sunnyland files. Just drag it over here. Godot's going to ask if you automatically slice it. Let's go ahead and say yes. Then we can switch over to the tile map tab next to it and select the paint tool, where we can draw our level directly into our viewport. Of our paint tools here, you have this pencil tool, which is the paint tool, right? You can have a line tool, which creates lines, a rectangle tool to create rectangles. The fill bucket tool I don't really use. It's a bucket tool, which will just fill up the screen with your tiles. And then we have our eraser tool, which will obviously erase things. You have these other options to rotate tiles as you before you place them, as well as flipping tiles horizontally and vertically, and then choosing random tiles to place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a few ground tiles just for right now. Let's zoom in on these, see what we got. Looks like that's a corner one, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the eraser because I still had that selected. I'm going to grab that there. I'm going to put this corner right. Let's see. That is, looks like 3 spaces up. So we got 1, 2, 3. And then I got this guy right here that I'm just going to use the line tool. And I should be able to just drag it and come all the way across with it. Just like that. And connect it to. So we got these other edges here that we can add on to paint like a full level if you wanted to. I'll probably do that outside the video to finish it up, because in video 8 we'll be dealing with double jumps and wall slides and just some other stuff here. So hey, now the fill tool is working. Alright, don't know why it wasn't working the first time, but hey, it's working now. Alright, there we go. So we got our little ground here set up. Right now our level is just a beautiful painting. None of the tiles have collision detection, and our player would fall right through it if we added them. In the inspector, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this drop down that says TileSet. It's going to create a new window here. We're going to look for this option that says Physics Layers and press Add Element. This adds physics to the tiles. We need to actually paint those layers onto it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, in our tile set, we're going to choose paint. We're going to select a property, and we're going to go physics layer 0. And all we really need to do is just click on these tiles that we used, and it adds, you'll see they become blue tinted. That adds the collision boxes to it. I'll do this behind the scenes for the rest of them, but you can see some of them, like this one right here, you can actually manipulate it so that it actually draws the physics properly according to it, and so now he'll run up it like it's a slope instead of hovering in the air for things like this little hill right here. In Godot, the physics engine uses collision layers and collision masks to determine how objects interact. Collision layers are categories or groups that an object belongs to. These determine which other objects it can interact with. Collision masks, on the other hand, define which layers an object can detect and interact with. To make this easy, we're going to go into the settings of our physics layer over here on the right. You just choose this 3 dots and go to edit layer names. You can also access it by going to project settings, and then we're just going to name these layers. We'll name the first one ground, the second one player, and the third one enemy, even though we're not going to do enemies right now. We'll add more later for collectibles and stuff as we need it. So go ahead and press close there, and then we're going to leave our ground on collision layer 1, and our mask we're going to change it to 2 and 3. Alright, so we got a scene. Now we need a character to run around in it, so let's go ahead and press Control S. Up here in the top, we'll press this plus sign. We're going to choose 2D scene. No, we're not. Press Control Z, go to other node, and we're going to choose character body. We're going to search for character body 2D and press create. We're going to rename this by pressing F2 and typing in player with a capital P. We need to add a few things to this, so let's go ahead and press Control A. We're going to add an animated sprite 2D because our sprites we're going to use have animations. We're going to select the player again, press Control A, and search for a collision shape 2D. Alright, so let's go ahead and add our, let's click on player. Let's go here to collision, so to set that up. We want our layer to be on 2, and the mask, just to pre-stage it, it's going to be set to 1 and 3. So this character body 2D that we renamed is going to be our root node, obviously. This node is designed specifically for 2D characters to interact with physics. We added the collision shape 2D, and we're going to use probably a capsule shape for it, and that will give it basically their physics body, right? And then we have the animated 2D sprite, which is going to contain the frames of animation for our character. Let's go ahead and set up our animated sprite 2D first. So in the inspector, next to sprite frames, we're going to choose empty and select new sprite frames. If you click on it again, you're going to see a pop-up window at the bottom. It says animations and animation frames. The tab itself is the sprite frames tab. We have this in our characters. We have a couple different enemies. Then we have this character here called Foxy, and he's got some sprites to go with him. We're going to choose this idle one. If you click on the first one and hold shift and then select the last one, you can just drag them all in here like that. Now if I zoom in on it, we can press play and you'll see the animation playing. We're also going to select default. We're going to choose idle, or not choose, we're going to type in idle to name it idle because that's our idle animation. We're also going to set it to autoplay on load by selecting this arrow with an A inside of it. Now what we do need to do is, there's a little bit of blurriness, so before we go on, we're going to fix that. Go ahead and click on project. We're going to go to project settings. Under the render options, we're going to choose textures, and where it says default texture filter, we're going to change it from linear to nearest, and then close it. And you'll see that it cleans up really nicely from that. We need to set up our collision shape, so let's go ahead and do that. Select collision shape. Over here in the inspector, go to shape. We're going to choose a capsule shape 2D, and then use these dots to just kind of like fit it to the size of the player. Move it down by the move tool by pressing W. A bit like that. Looks good for me. Alright, so Godot provides a pre-written template for player movement that we're going to use for this. Let's go ahead and press Control S in our scene to save this real quick. We can go to overwrite our player scene. In your scenes folder, characters, overwrite your player scene, and that'll be just fine. Just like that. Now, in order for this to work, for the pre-made one to work, we're going to need to go into our scripts folder, our player folder, and just delete that original player script we created many moons ago. It's going to tell you that it's there's a dependent on there. That's fine. That's from a previous scene we're not going to use. Go ahead and press Control S to make sure everything's saved. Click on your player in the scene tree. click on the attached new script. We're going to, you'll see that because we're using a character body 2D as the root node, it's going to inherit from character body 2D and then use this template right here. It's already selected, basic movement. And then our path right now is pointing to scenes because that's where we last saved the file. Let's go ahead and click on this file. We're going to go into our scripts folder, open up our player folder, and then it's already named player, which is fine. Give it a capital P and then press open and press create. And so what this does, the script does, it automatically gives us gravity, jumping, and the move and slide function, which handles sliding along surfaces. Alright, but we're not done there. We're going to break this down into some clean code and keep those practices by pulling these out and putting them into functions. So we're going to go ahead and add a few functions. First one is going to be function apply gravity. If I could spell gravity. We're going to pass delta through it. And then we're also going to create a function called handle jump, and then another one that we're going to call function handle movement, and then we'll have one that we're going to use to I believe function flip. We'll name this one facing, and that's gonna handle what direction he's facing. So to pull these out, we're gonna grab all these three lines here. We're gonna paste that into our apply gravity function. We're gonna grab these ones that handle the jump. We're gonna paste that into handle jump. We're gonna grab these ones to deal with movement and put that here into the handle movement. Alright, so for our flip function down here, for the change the way we're facing direction, we need to add a reference to the sprite. So we're going to say at on ready, and this is going to be a variable that we're going to call sprite. We're going to make it equal to this animated sprite. So we're just going to take animated sprite from the scene tree and drop it into our code, and you'll see that it automatically creates the reference for it. Now down here into flip facing, we're going to actually add a bit of code there, and it's going to be if velocity.x is less than 0, then we're going to set sprite flip h to true. So flip h is flip horizontally. Else if velocity.x is greater than 0, we're going to set it to false. Okay, so now we need to apply these up here. Notice we left move and slide right where it was at. So we're going to call the apply gravity and pass delta through there. We're going to call the handle jump, and we're going to call the handle movement. Let's go ahead and press Control S. Now, if you've been following with these tutorials, you'll notice that video 2 is currently highlighted blue, which means it is set to the main scene. Let's go ahead and right click on level 1, choose set as main scene to switch that. Then we can press play, and we should be able to see our player, which we don't because we forgot to instantiate it. So let's go to level 1, and we're going to make sure level 1 root node is selected. Click on this instantiate child scene or press Control Shift A. We're going to select our player, which brings him into our scene. He's going to appear over here in the top right or top left because that's where he is in the main scene that we created him. just drag him up over here in the center somewhere, and then press play again, and he falls. He lands right on the ground, so the collisions are working. He's moving right. He's not flipping left for some reason, which is really odd, so we can check that out in just a second. But he is moving back left and right, and I know why. If we come over here to our script, we didn't call the flip facing code. Flip facing. Now let's press play. Alright, now that with our flip facing actually being called, let's go into here, press right, and then we press left, and it flips the other direction. Just the way it should. Alright, excellent work today. We've officially painted our environment, set up physics masks, and coded a beautifully structured character controller. Make sure to save your project. In the next video, we're going to expand our player's toolkit by programming a double jump, wall sliding, and a fast-paced dash mechanic. In between, you'll probably want to add, design your own level. I want to challenge you to do that. Add some walls and some platforms that the player can jump from, some higher than others, and a wall jump he can bounce off of. But until then, keep learning, keep building. I'll see you in the next video.